Hello and welcome to another edition of Tasha Talk. So I want to tell you a story about a king who lived many years ago and was a proud owner of a huge diamond ring. He called his sages together and asked if they could write a powerful sentence, one that he could go to in his moment of darkest deep despair, that would fit under the diamond in his ring. And although the sages were well versed in writing treaties, they couldn't think of any short sentence powerful enough. So feeling forlorn, king retreated to his chambers. Shortly his old servant appeared and asked what was wrong, and when the king explained, the old servant thought for a moment and said, "I'm not a learned man, but many wise people have stayed at the castle. In fact, there was one such mystic." And he gave him the most powerful statement, and the old servant wrote it on a small piece of parchment, folded it up and hid it under the king's diamond, and told him not to look at it unless it was its deepest, darkest moment. Years passed, and the neighbouring country invaded the king's state. Fleeing for his life, the king jumped on his horse and rode off through the wood, but the enemies were in hot pursuit of him. Eventually he got through the woods and to the edge of a cliff. There was no going forward, no going back. And the king remembered the ring and pulled the parchment out and read the statement, "This too shall pass." With that, a sense of eerie quietness fell all around, and he could no longer hear the enemy. The most powerful statement, he thought. He had utter gratitude for the old servant and indeed for the mystic. He rounded up his army, and they went back to his state, where they were welcomed with open arms from his people, for he was a well-loved king. And they laid on a huge feast for him, with drinking and dancing and merriment. And soon the old servant appeared, and told the king once again to read the parchment. And the king laughed and said, "No, I'm not in despair anymore. I'm happy, I'm home, I'm joyous." And the servant looked at the king and said, "Read the parchment." So the king withdrew the parchment from under his diamond and read again, "This too shall pass." And in that moment, he realised that as sure as there was joy, there was despair. As sure as there was night, there was day, for its nature. And to realise that you had to live in the moment, for that too shall pass. Hope you've enjoyed my story. Please leave a comment below. Thank you.